Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, December 22nd. It is 6:21 right now. Market's going to open in about 9 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Got a couple of things here to update, and we should be good to go. All right, let's get there. That's good. All right, let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right, as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start market liquidity over here on the liquidity chart. So I'll start off here on the daily time frame. And then we'll move down to the 8-hour. Then we'll move down to the 4-hour. And we'll move down to the 2-hour. All right. Move down to the 1-hour. $30-minute. $15-minute. 10-minute. And it looks like we're good. So it does not look like we're going to have a lot of liquidity. Your current price. There's a bunch of liquidity here that got knocked out off news here at 5:30. So there's a bunch of liquidity that was sitting here, and it pretty much just got knocked out. So with that said, I mean, I don't even know if we'll have one right here. Let's go back to the 1 minute. So this liquidity right here already got hit. It's not really looking like we're going to have very much, if any, liquidity for today, because, well, the closest level is down here. It's over 1,000 pips away. This upper level just got hit here pre-market right now at 624. So we'll just leave this one up and just use that as a guidance to see where price will go. But that's the only level of liquidity that's closest to current price right now. So with that said, not sure if we're going to get any liquidity pushes, throughout the session. We'll see, but it's not looking too great. Anyways, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, December 22nd. It is 6:25 right now. Market's going to open in about 5 minutes. Looks like majority of you guys are here so far. So let's see who's here. Morning, Alan. Morning, Ryan. Morning, Albert. Morning, Rashida. Morning, Shannon. Morning, Kevin. Morning, everybody. But yeah, like I just said, there's not really much liquidity here. We're going into the Christmas weekend, so kind of no surprise there. I mean, it's kind of expected with the news this morning and with what we have coming up this weekend. Hey, David, morning. Morning, sir. All right, so we got everything pretty much here marked up for the most part. Let's go here to our clean chart. So I'm going to mark this up over here. You guys can see the huge spike right there based off the news. Let's go here to the 4-hour real quick. See if there's any structure here. So there's structure right here, structure up here, structure down here. Go down to the 1 hour, just stuff to look out for. That's pretty much it. All right, so price is currently really close to the 4-hour resistance up here. There's a bunch of 4-hour levels like kind of around, not super close, but kind of around for the most part. So we got that level right there. We got the level up here as well. This is going to be the 4-hour resistance level. Wait a minute. I swear that was just a 4-hour resistance that was right here. Okay, so it looks like price just spiked up in this like last second right here. So um, I don't know what happened at this level here. Let me just fix that. All right, so price is pulling into the 4-hour resistance right here. See if it rejects off it. Got that marked up there, and I think we're good for the most part. Support's pretty far off, so we'll come back and take a look at that later. That's about it for that chart there. Again, we had news over here at 4 o'clock, or sorry, 5:30, 4:30 actually. So we had news at 4:30, 5:30, and we have news at 7, and that's about it. So 4:30, 5:30, 7. So obviously the news is right here. The big candle, it's like pretty obvious. It's a big drop right here. So 4:30, 5:30, and then 7 o'clock today. There we go. News at 7 o'clock. News at 5:30 and 4:30 right here. All right, so with that said, the news was pretty much mixed this morning. It was bullish and it was bearish, negative, positive. We have more news over here at 7 o'clock. A lot of news actually. We have Michigan's consumer sentiment, new home sales. They're all forecasted to be mixed as well. So we'll see what happens here on open. So you guys want to be careful for the movement here on open. If the movement is normal, then yeah, maybe take that breakout. But if not, and it's spiking around too much, then maybe hold off on it because there was a lot of high impact news today at 4:30 and 5:30. It was mixed. Some was negative, some was positive. And then we have some more news over here, which is also going to be mixed at 7 o'clock as well. So just look out for the movement here on open. Market is going to open in about 10 seconds here. If we get a red sell signal with a strong red candle, that's going to be a sell for the breakout. The next thing you want to look out for is going to be the sessions down here. If it gets too close to this point, maybe take it for a partial exit before it reaches that point. Or if you get a strong green candle, you can take the breakout for a buy. Market is now open, guys. It's moving kind of slow right now for the most part, not super fast. So if this candle here closes with a strong green candle, this will be the original breakout. If we get for the breakout V2 and breakout V3, we need to have a momentum to identify direction. So with this right here, if this closes as a strong green candle, meaning a green candle with little to no wick on the top side, that's going to be the original breakout for anyone who's looking to take it. Again, you want to be careful for the sessions up here, and it does not look like that candle is going to close green. So no entry there for the breakout version 1. All right, so we're going to continue watching here. As you guys can see, the liquidity here is still running inactive. I think it already hit TP actually. Yeah, so it's already hit TP if you guys took that liquidity push here pre-market. Again, we're just looking for a strong green candle here. If you get a strong green candle, that's going to be the original breakout. Looks like it may be taken for the move here. Candle here is a little big now. Again, you'd have to wait for the actual close for it to for you to take that trade. So it looks like it is pushing up right there. If anyone's looking to take this breakout for a partial, maybe. If you're going to take this, I'd probably only take it for 100 pips, guys. Let's see if I can get into this here. Yeah, because it's too far. If you're going for the full 25, it's a little too far. I took that for 100 full TP right there if anybody took it with me. So as I mentioned, I was going to take it for a partial. Quick 100 pips right there. So there goes the 100 pip mark right there. If you take it for the full 25, it's a little risky, but it is pushing through. Again, right here, this is where I circled where the manipulation would happen. And it's rejecting directly off that red line right there, which is the London high. So if you guys took the breakout with me, I told you I was going to take it for just a partial 100 pips. I got it right here at the black line, blasted right through. Got hit with some slippage, gave me 2,500 off that trade. So we'll continue to follow it here. But again, I only take it for the partial there for 100 pips. Whenever I take a trade, I only write it up to the sessions, like I said earlier, because this is where a lot of manipulation may happen. So if you're going to take it for a buy, be careful for the manipulation right there. If you're going to take it for a sell, be careful for the manipulation down here. And that's exactly where you guys can see the manipulation happening right at that red line. So I took that there, quick move for the breakout B1. Nothing else right now. So it's still running. I'm still following it. But I personally took it for a partial move. And let me put that in over here as well. So I'll just wait because it's probably going to hit full TP on there. All right, it's almost up. But again, this area right here is just tricky where that red line is. The red line and the green line. Anywhere where the session's at, it's pretty tricky. Full TP right there. So Steven, did you take that trade? There's your breakout, bro. Full TP. The breakout version 1 is a 25-25. The breakout V3 is a 30-30. So that's a difference between these two. There goes a breakout version 1. And full TP on that there. Nice work, guys, for whoever caught it. I only caught it for a partial, but it went straight through. So this is the breakout V1. Pretty solid trade there to start off the trading session. All right, let me just take a quick screenshot of my profits real quick. Oh man, Steven says MT5 didn't let him take it. They don't want to see you win, huh, Steven? The one day it goes straight to CP with like no drawdown, it doesn't let you enter. It sucks. It's all good. All right, so here are my profits. It's all good, Steven. Just wait for the next one. Breakout version 2 or version 3 might be coming up. So just continue watching. I would be kind of wary taking sells today. I was okay with taking buys because the retail sentiment is still very bullish. So, I mean, I don't really trade with the bias as much, but it's good to have a bias that you understand and you feel safe with whatever trade you decide to take. So there we go. So that was breakout version 1. It's now red flags right here. If you get a sell signal with a following red candle, you might get a correction back to opening price. So yeah, Rashida said she didn't take it. She's waiting for another entry. Yeah, another entry is going to come. You just want to wait for it to push away from the sessions right here. This here, of course, like I mentioned, I took it for a partial because it got close to the sessions up there. That's why I pulled out for that quick move. So here are my profits across all my accounts so far. Here's my funded engineer. I locked in 385. My FTMO, I locked in 2,520. My second FTMO locked in 2,220. My second funded engineer locked in 218. My personal account locked in 810. And my TFFs locked in 762 per account. So those are my accounts so far. And we'll continue looking for more entries here. All right, so let's see. There's nothing here yet. Price is pushing up. The ATR is not super high right now. It's currently at 14. So I'm gonna try my hardest today, guys, to get the this indicator up to you guys by this weekend. So I think I should be able to get it up by today. I've just been out of town pretty much every day this week. And then I was on vacation last week, so I wasn't able to really get on TradingView and update everything because I have to do everything manually and type in everyone's username. So it takes a while for me to get everything done. But I'm gonna try to get it done by the end of this week, hopefully by today. You guys will have this ATR indicator down here. All right, so price is continuing to push up. Let's see, Rashida said, I wanted to push up higher than give a V3 to the sessions. Yeah, no, that'd be good too. So there might be a V1 variation right here setting up. That might be the top. It's a little too close. I probably wanted to push up a little more. It's just a little too close from here. Yeah, there's no way you'd be able to catch that without it touching the sessions right there. Yeah, a little too close. I wouldn't take any V1s here, guys. There's no V1s here for sell because I'm pretty sure the bias right now is currently bullish. So let's take a look at the overall bias real quick before we continue on. So looking over here at retail sentiment is currently 79% short. This indicates that 79% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So you typically want to do the opposite and buy. Looking over here at the fundamentals are currently 56 points in the positive. So they're pretty much bullish neutral right now, more so on the neutral side. Looking over here at the technicals, the 1 minute's bullish. You can see prices above the pivots. The trend meter's green. Pivots are angling up. Same with the 5-minute bullish, 10-minute bullish, 30-minute bullish, 1 hour bullish, 4 hour bullish. Everything here is bullish. So with that said, you can look for sells, but you want to be careful with the sells here. If you are going for sells, you probably want to just go for 100 pips because if you measure 100 pips, 100 pips is not that big of a move, right? So you can still take trades in both directions, but you don't want to go for anything bigger than 100 pips because you might get caught in the fake out. Price might come down slightly to the sessions and then swing right back up, right? So again, the overall bias today is bullish. So if you're looking for some V1 variations, it would be for some buys. I'm personally going to try to focus on some buys here. The only thing is that price is overextended, right? It's pushed up way too far. So it's due for retracement. So if you are looking for sells, sells can be possible. It's just a little risky. So measuring it from this lower low right here up to here, it's pushed up 1,300 pips. It's due for retracement. So just keep that in mind, guys. Steven over here took a couple scalps on the way up, reached his goal for the day, which is 1,000. So nice work, Steven. Today's Steven's second day back. And hey, you did great work, Steven. Did some pretty good work right there. So here is Steven's profits for the day. Steven locked in 1,145 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Steven. Took some scalps along the way. Steven kind of did it the way he typically does. He doesn't take breakouts normally like we do. If he misses the trade, he'll scalp into it, and that's what he did right here. And he still locked in the move that he initially planned to lock in. So nice work, Steven, on catching that there. It's time for you to log off and come back next week. Yeah, definitely, Steven. Merry Christmas, and no problem for the help. Yeah, just come back and then do the same thing again on Monday or Tuesday, whenever the day after Christmas is. So, all right, all right, Steven, we'll see you then. Yeah, nice work, Steven. So guys, like Steven here, he takes things like he does it as simple as possible. He goes in, reaches his goal, and he wraps it up for the day. I think he's on a 100K account, so he just needs to have 10 decent days where he locks in his goal and then he passes his challenge. So just a matter of time, but he'll do good, I'm sure, because this is what he's good at. He's good at taking the breakout, even though it's not the traditional way of taking the breakout. He kind of has an idea of like what he's doing to get to that point. So yeah, guys, if you guys have a problem being consistent, like I think that's a problem with the majority of people. It's just really being consistent and disciplined. If that's your problem, then have a goal for the day. Like Steven's goal is to make 1,000 a day, right? My goal is kind of similar. It's like making 2,000 a day per account. And I'm already at my goal, so I don't have to force any more trades, or I don't have to like maybe FOMO into something. I just continue to look to see where price goes, and if it moves in my direction, I see something good, I'll take it. But as you guys can see over here from my accounts, both of my main accounts are already up 2,000. So I'm up about 2,000, 4,000, 5,000, up about like around 6,000 for the day, with just that one partial move of the breakout. So we'll continue looking for trades here. The volatility is starting to pick up. So you can see over here, it's pretty decent. Let me see if there's any. So there may be a momentum pullback scalp coming up soon. We had a buy signal here, but this is the first entry that's actually coming up because the ATR is so low down here. So this may be a momentum pullback scalp. The only problem with this is that price is super overextended, right? So as you guys know how I trade, I'm very conservative. I don't want to take trades when it's super overextended like this. So I look at all the red flags. I look at sessions, I look at news price, I look at opening price, and I look at overextension. So I think this is too overextended here, but there is a momentum pullback scalp that is setting up here and just got filled. So if anybody's looking to take it, and it's too late already. If you guys were thinking to take it, it happened already. So yeah, Maddie said he's waiting for another signal, but this right here would have been the entry if anybody was looking to take it. So we had a buy signal here, price pushed up. The ATR was too low. It started picking up right here. ATR is now at 16. So this gave opportunity for a momentum pullback scalp. You can see with this red candle right here, this is the pullback that we look for. Once this pulled back, the entry would happen right here. You can see how price pulled back, filled the entry, and then continued climbing up higher from there. But again, price was overextended here. So for me being the conservative trader, I wouldn't have taken this trade here because I would have been worried that price would have to pull back a little more before coming up and hitting TP. So if anybody took the momentum pullback scalp, great work. That's one of our main strategies here. That's why we have this chart. This chart's mainly used for breakouts and momentum pullback scalps. The only difference here is on this chart, we're looking for high-low scalps. So again, there's a higher high right here. So this might be setting up for a high-low scalp. So if you guys ever look at my tabs here, the red tabs for high-low scalps. So typically when I go on this chart, you'll see me mark up high-low scalps and high-low scalp V2s. On this blue chart right here, you'll see me mark up breakouts, momentum pullback scalps, and momentum counter scalps. So basically anything aside from high-low scalps will be on this chart, and then high-low scalps only will be on this chart right here. The one with the green tab here is going to be the clean chart, and the orange tab over here is going to be liquidity. So the upper level of liquidity here just got hit. I don't know if anybody was able to catch that, but it happened super quickly earlier while we were following the initial trade for the breakout. So there goes the entry right there as well. And other than that, that is about it for the moment. See, Cam was asking, can you set buy limits with the FTO quick trade? No, that kind of defeats the purpose of the quick trade maneuver, right? The quick trade means to enter trade quickly. For a limit, you're kind of setting a pending order and it's not considered a quick trade. So no, unfortunately you can't. That would be nice. That's something that I wish they had. But I think the whole purpose of that is for scalping, like to get in and out of the trade super quickly. That's why they have all those different functions on there for like a trailing stop, a break even, and then just a buy and sell button versus having something, pending. That's why when I put a pending order, it kind of takes me some time because I have to do the math. Like I have to actually add like 10 points or subtract 30 points when setting it up. So I have to do it manually, but it would be cool if they had it. Yeah, it'd be a nice feature. They might have it because they have other tools on the website, but I haven't really looked at it. So yeah, the auto stop, auto TP is great. So if you're trading on Trade08, Apex, or any of those other platforms, they actually have that function, Camo. So it would be cool. Yeah, on Trade08, it's pretty nice. That's the one thing I really liked about Trade08 is that you can put the price for entry. So it was perfect for this strategy here for the momentum pullback scalp because you'd have the whole number there. You just put the whole number and then you have the TP and stop loss already set up just by number, not by the actual price. Yeah, I'll make it for you guys. Yeah, hopefully I could probably make a bridge program for that at some point. Andrew said, hopefully good retracement and momentum counter to a V3. Yeah, and I'm hoping that too. Andrew, hopefully. That could be pretty solid. So we're done with the levels here. I'm going to take this off the chart. So there's a couple different things. There's a V1 pattern here that just came up, but there's a buy signal. So there's not going to be any opportunity for us here. But again, you guys can maybe look for a V1 pattern over here on the top side. with a retracement. So if you see a double body somewhere over here, and then it's followed by a breakout V3 continuation, you know, you can maybe write it down to the sessions, just what Rashida was looking at earlier. So that's still possible. That's possible. And then if we get that and that doesn't actually play through, you can actually catch it from the bottom again. So price can come down. You get another V1 pattern down here, and then you catch it as it comes right back up. So you can trade in both directions. What I would look for here is just look for the patterns that I mentioned earlier, right? Look for a confluence, and you'll kind of see where price goes. Maddie said that the sentiment just went up. So sentiment is now at 80% short. As you can see here, like Maddie said, the market is now luring in some sellers. So sentiment is 80% short. Again, this means that 80% of retail traders within this broker is currently selling right now. So if a lot of people on this broker are selling, that's pretty much the same along the other brokers as well. Yeah, they're just luring in some sellers right here. I think they're just going to churn the market. You can see how price is going back and forth now. The ATR again is below 15. So yeah, they're just churning the market right now. They're churning it so that people can, and if you guys don't know what a churn is kind of just going in a circle, right? They're just churning. So another thing for that, like churning is going in a circle, but realistically it's just ranging back and forth. So that's kind of what's happening in the market here. They're just churning so that more people enter themselves. So as it keeps going in a circle, or you know, the cycle keeps going in a circle, it just keeps overlapping in a range until finally it decides to break out, right? Break out to the upside or break out to the downside. That's literally what happens. Or they might just stop everybody out. They just might be like, screw everybody and stop everybody out and continue going up higher, which we've seen happen a lot. Like, for example, right here, the sentiment has been down for a while now. So like since this morning, the sentiment's been pretty low, or this whole week actually, and price just keeps pushing up and stopping everybody out, right? The market's very unpredictable. This is why I'm very careful with the trades that I take. I don't just take every single trade, even though every trade has been hitting pretty much, because I just don't want to be that sucker that gets caught at the short end of the stick, right? All these wins keep coming, and then all of a sudden you take one trade and it loses because you just got greedy and you started to chase the movement. So I never recommend chasing the movement. Just wait for that trade to come to you. Retracement is probably the best opportunity because you can get in at the best price, and then just continue to ride it in the direction of your trade. So we got a high-low scalp V2 that is currently pending right now, guys. We had this candle break and close past it, so price broke above it right here. If it comes back below, look for the correction back up, and that would be the high-low scalp V2 right here. However, we do have high impact news coming up in about in 10 minutes. It's 6:49 right now. We got high impact news right here at 7 o'clock. So depending on what the news comes out with, you might get some like crazy manipulation because it's high impact news and there's a lot of it. So we have Michigan inflation expectations, Michigan consumer sentiment, 5-year inflation expectations, current conditions, consumer expectations. We have new home sales month over month and new home sales for November. So for the home sales, they're forecasting it to be positive. For new home sales, they're forecasting it to be positive as well. For Michigan consumer sentiment, they're forecasting it to be positive. So they're forecasting all of these here to be positive right now at 7 o'clock. So what I would look for is I would look for manipulation down. Look for a sharp drop, and then look for a V1 pattern to catch the correction back up, because they're forecasting all of these to be positive. And I do agree with some of these here. I do agree with the new home sales because we're kind of going over the hump now into the next year. And then here with consumer sentiment, you know, with the elections going on, they're expecting the economy to do better, of course, because Biden is going to introduce a lot of these new plans that he's been having in his back pocket to like get reelected. And then we have the Republicans that are going to be promising a lot of things as well. So we'll see. I mean, next year is going to be pretty exciting, guys. I think you guys can already get a little hint of like or a little taste of like what's going to happen next year. You guys saw the market yesterday, super volatile. There wasn't anything going on, but the market was super volatile. And that's kind of what I'm expecting for next year, because we do have the elections coming up, and it's going to be very beneficial for us as day traders and scalpers, because volatility is good. So we'll see. We might have to make some adjustments to our TP stop losses, make them a little wider if the volatility gets a little high. But if not, I think that the best part here is that we have our ATR now. We never used the ATR before. I used it myself, but I didn't use it here on the live session. I think when the ATR is at 15, it's a good idea to just keep your TP stop loss at like 1030 or 3030. When it goes up to like maybe 2530, then we'll probably increase that to 530. So 5030 or 5050. And that helps us a lot, because back then we were kind of guessing, right? Whenever we saw the market going sideways, we're like, oh, we should use a smaller TP stop loss. But we never looked at the ATR. Now that we have the ATR down below, that I created this for us, we don't have to keep guessing. Like, if price is moving like this, we're not going to increase our TP stop loss. We're only going to increase if the ATR picks up. So it's definitely gonna help out a lot with our trading next year. I mean, our trading is pretty good as is, but if you guys have been trading with me for a while, you guys have seen that we just keep getting better year after year. We just learn more. We're able to adapt with the market faster. We know what to use. We have a strategy for each specific market condition. And I think it's pretty solid. So, all right, guys, price is pushing up right here. I'm going to go market some structure. All right, so price is pretty much flat right now, as you guys can see. These are both 1 minute levels. See what happens here. I don't know if they have the data here. Okay, so looking at the data right here. So last month it was negative. October was positive. September was positive. Now let's just check December of last year. So December of last year, it was positive. They're forecasting it, or yeah. So December of last year was positive. They're forecasting it to be negative. So I'm expecting it to be positive here as well. You guys can always look back to previous historical data to see what you could maybe predict for the next news event. So yeah, I'm expecting the news event here to be positive, and we'll see. And then again over here for the other news event, consumer sentiment. So last month it was positive. Let's see what it was last year. Positive. Okay, so yeah, the forecast to be positive. I'm expecting it to be positive as well. You can just look at historical data. Like, I don't really trade. I don't even care for the news, because we're scalping and we're day trading. But if you guys look at the news here, the historical data usually follows suit. So for consumer sentiment, they're forecasting to be positive, and the new home sales history. Yeah, last December was also positive. So I'm expecting all the news here to be positive. Again, it's not a big deal whether you guys can understand how to read the news or not, but it kind of gives you a heads up for what to look for. So, like I mentioned here, since the news is likely to be positive, I'm kind of hoping that it comes down super hard so that we catch the correction back up, because the correction is going to happen. If the news is positive and the market does the opposite, the correction is going to happen. It's just a matter of time until it does. So looking at this here, there's still nothing for us to take here. The volatility is at 15, so it's pretty decent. However, there's no momentum signal. As you can see, this buy signal has been here since 6:17. So it's been up for almost an hour now. So within an hour, there hasn't been an opposite signal come up. The high-low scalping 2 here is no longer useful. You can see that the candle broke past it. It took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At this point, this is no longer going to be useful for us. One second, guys. I hate being sick. One second, guys. All right. It's hard for me to talk with my nose all clogged up. All right, so we got news coming up right here in about 4 minutes. There's no other opportunities here. Price keeps pushing up, so a new higher high gets established. This level right here is no longer there. And we're going to continue to follow here to see what happens next. C6 said we absolutely developed that ability to adapt incredibly fast and incredibly through the years. Yeah, no, exactly, C6, 100%. Yeah, I think the biggest advantage for you guys to be in this group with us here and trading with us live every morning is that we're able to adapt with the market super quickly. We've been trading live for so long now. We've been doing the same thing that we know when the market's not moving in our favor. So when the market's not moving smooth in our favor, we're able to make small adjustments to kind of balance with the market, which I think is a huge benefit to any trader. Because a lot of traders don't know how to adapt with the market, right? And I'm sure that's how a lot of you guys are. You guys know how to trade one way, but you don't know how to change your trading habits or your trading, the way that you trade based off the market conditions. Like for example, right here, the market's just going sideways. It's not even ranging right now. It's just consolidating. I know some traders who still try to trade off this. Like they'll see price kind of consolidate here a little bit, and even though it's not moving, they'll still try to catch moves. Like for example, if they see a double top here, they'll still try to catch that. And that's too risky because realistically, price isn't really going to move. It's probably just going to keep going back and forth. Right. And the ATR right here, you can see the ATR is below 15. So whenever it goes below 15, that kind of gives you a heads up that, hey, maybe like sit out of the market for a little bit until it picks back up. Because when it goes below 15, this usually indicates that price is either going to consolidate or it's going to range. So 14 is kind of high, so we might get a range here. But if it goes down to like 13, 12, then you're probably going to see market just go really tight sideways. I think market's just going to consolidate here until news comes out because news is coming out at 7 o'clock and we have a lot of high impact news coming out here. We do have that sell signal that just came up. If this closes red, this will be a setup for a breakout V3 continuation, but I'm not going to take it because we have news coming up right here at 7 o'clock, which is just, it's just a little too heavy. Right? Because I think you're going to start to see some volatility pick up right here, right before news. And then you're going to see the correction happen a little later. So yeah, news is in about a minute, guys. I don't recommend anybody take any trades right now. It's just way too tricky because you're not sure where price is going to be manipulated. I'm pretty sure we're going to get a big spike here, like a big movement. I'm hoping for it to come down though. That's my hope. Because if it comes down, then we can catch it as it swings back up. If it goes up and the news is positive, then there's no move there for us because it's already pushed up from where it's supposed to go. All right, we got news coming up in about 20 seconds. You guys can see all the news right here starting to flash. It's about to be released soon. All right, let's see. I know Camel said, why did we get a V3 right before news? That's exactly what I'm saying too. C6 said, I'm hoping for it to come down to respect the high-low scalp V2 setup. And there we go with the big, well, not really a big spike, but a decent spike right there in price. Wasn't as big as I was expecting. The spike might happen after. Okay, so the news over here was positive, just like they anticipated. New home sales is actually negative. So you're getting a couple of spikes here off this candle. It's actually pretty anticlimactic. I was expecting a bigger spike because there was so much high impact news there, but there's not really too much going on. So here's the thing that you want to be careful for. There might not be much happening here, but once the news is released and time has passed, you might get some bigger movement. Okay, so I think there was movement because it was pretty mixed. So Michigan consumer sentiment was positive, new home sales was negative for month over month, and new home sales for this month are also negative. So It did not play as anticipated. The new home sales are actually really bad. So it was -4% last month. This month it was 1.2, or no, sorry, last month was -4, and this month it was -12. They were forecasting it to be positive, but it was actually super negative. So there we go. As price starts to move its way down, I think odds of price moving are likely to be dropping because the Michigan consumer sentiment is decent, but the housing sales are super off. So new home sales are super off. I think, if price does come back down, it's probably gonna come down and test the sessions right here. Market's league be odd. All right, so price is coming back down to the 4-hour resistance level right here. Yeah, Maddie said that the retail sentiment is now lower. So retail sentiment is now 81% short. So you can see that sellers are starting to stack into the market. I can see some sellers probably saw the news event here, and they're probably now looking to chase the move down. I think pricing to swing back up. The news right here didn't really affect too much. There's a V1 variation setting up right here. So you might be able to use this as a confluence. I wouldn't take this as a standalone trade, but I would use this as a confluence. So if this here closes, look for the buy signal and look for that green candle after it for that breakout V3 continuation. Yeah, so there's a V1 variation pattern here. If anybody wants to take it, that's a V1 variation, but I'm personally not going to take it myself. We have a pending buy signal right here on this candle. It's just sitting around news price right now. So I think they're going to churn price around this area, see if more sellers hop in. Once enough sellers hop in, they're going to spike price all the way back up. So the sentiment here is starting to shift a little bit. It's back to 80. So again, I think the churn process is going to happen again right here. It's just going to continue going back and forth around this area until it decides to either climb up or climb down. So we got a pending buy signal right here. Is a V1 pattern up into a buy signal. If you guys took the V1 variation right here, it's currently running, I think, also a TP. Yeah, just hit TP right there for the V1 variation. No buy signal there. As you guys can see, it's moving kind of slow. So the V1 variation hit full TP already. If anybody was looking for that there, full TP with the V1 variation. And then next setup here would be a possible breakout V3 continuation. This right here is actually another entry for a momentum counter scalp continuation. So we had a sell signal here, 2 green candles. And right there for another momentum counter scalp continuation. Yeah, Nathan said hopefully a V3 buy with this high-low scalp V2. Yeah, so that's another good confluence right there. So Nathan over here identified this as 2 different entries as well. We got the V1 variation right here establishing floor. And then if this breaks through here, this is gonna be a high-low scalp V2 retrace continuation. So this is one thing that I don't like. See how this buy signal here keeps coming up and disappearing? It's been 3 candles now. It's preparing for a bigger move. So it's basically doing that churn thing that I just mentioned. It's just going back and forth and it's moving really slow because it's going to prepare for a breakout here, likely. So it's basically charging up for a breakout. We've seen this before. You get a pending signal there for a long time. Eventually, it just breaks out. So we have a buy signal here pending. This could be setting up for a pivot scalp, whatever you guys want to consider it. There's a lot of different opportunities here that may come up once this buy signal comes up. It's just having trouble closing there. Yeah, It's getting tricky right here, guys. I don't know if I'll be entering anything right here because it just keeps, I'm pretty sure the next candle, and there we go with the buy signal. So the buy signal came up, but you can see there's no power behind it. It's an invalid buy signal. I mean, this can still set up for a breakout V3 continuation, but just by looking at the market, you don't really even have to have an analysis here. You just look at how these candles are moving. Just looks tricky because it looks like price might come back down because it looks like it's in a range right now, right? It's setting up for a range. The ATR is high, so this is weird. Like it has a range, but the ATR is picking up. So it's like it's getting into a heavy range. So I don't think this is going to be a small consolidation. I think this range is going to be pretty wide. Back and forth between here. If you measure current, like if you measure this distance, this is a big range. It's about like 400 pips. So there's no breakout V3 continuation there. You can see a red sell signal came up. The ATR is high though. So this, yeah, like what Maddie said over here, he said it could still be reacting to news. We haven't gotten a real push yet. Also might want to lure into more sellers. Yeah, and I agree with Maddie 100%. So we didn't really get a big push here from the news event. News happened over here at 7 o'clock. It was 3 high impact news events. So I was expecting some push in either direction. So I think what's going to happen here is just a big range, and eventually it's going to break out. That's weird. But yeah, anyways, I'm looking for a range here to play out. And then eventually it'll break out, to the top side or to the bottom side. There's no high-low scalp V2s that have come up yet. There are 2 levels now. So this is becoming a little more tricky. As you guys know, for the high-low scalp V2, 2 levels is fine, but if you get 3 levels that come up within the same vicinity of each other, then you probably want to skip it because price is probably just going to range from there. So this is starting to look like a range. Obviously, we already identified it earlier on this side, but here it's more clear that price is starting to pull into a range. And you can see over here on our clean chart, it's a little more obvious. It's a pretty obvious range right here. You guys can see the fake out right here. Price came up, came down, faked out, pulled back up. And it is it's going back and forth. Yeah, Camel said back-to-back false signal. So invalid signals here for both. Invalid buy signal, invalid sell signal. I would sit tight, guys. I wouldn't recommend, chasing anything here yet. Even if price breaks out of this area, you want to be careful because you might get a fake out just like this right here. So see how price came below, broke below the structure, faked out, came back in. You can do the same thing here. Come up, fake out, come back into the structure. It's just tricky. I don't think there's any more news for today there. Just news at 9 o'clock, current account. That's about it. Yeah, Rashida said it needs to pull down more, and I agree. It's too close right here. You want to have some space. So you want price to pull down a little further, maybe even to the sessions, and then get that correction back up. I wouldn't trade anywhere within this area right here. Within this range, I wait for it to break out of it. And I mean like really break out of it, like break out of it and continue climbing and then take an entry somewhere up here. Right. All right. So again, right here, guys, we're just watching this consolidate. The ATR is starting to drop down a little bit. It's currently at 16. It's not dropped down too far, but obviously if it goes back down to 15, then you're going to expect consolidation and range. I think your main focus right now should just be the ATR. Whether it goes up or whether it goes down, that's going to be the key difference here, whether you think price is either going to move directional or if it's going to go back and forth. All right, Van Harwig. Yeah, definitely. Van Harwig said, Sean, have a great Christmas. See you next week. Merry Christmas to all. Yeah, definitely, Van Harwig. We'll see you back here on Monday. Merry Christmas to you and your family. And we'll see you back here on Market Open. When's Christmas? It's at Sunday, right? It's Monday, actually. Okay. So yeah, I'll see you guys back here on, well, whoever is leaving, I'll be back here on Tuesday. Market's gonna be closed on Christmas Day on Monday, so obviously no trading. But yeah, so see you on Monday, Van Harwick. All right, guys, we'll continue looking for entries here. If there's any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Again, today's the last day of trading before Christmas. So if, I mean, so price can really just go sideways at this point. That's why I think looking at the ATR is going to be the key thing to focus on, because the ATR is going to be the deciding factor whether price moves or not. So the cool thing about the ATR is that it's not based off like anything here really, right? It's not based off like direction of price. It's not based off like any other indicator. The ATR just tells you what the average range is. So like if the market's going sideways, it's going to tell you it's going sideways. If the market's moving directional, it's going to tell you market's moving directional. So I think the ATR is like if you had nothing on your chart and all you had was the ATR, I could tell you immediately if price is probably ranging or if it's moving directional. Like right now, it's picking up to 17, right? And you can see how price is starting to move to the downside. Like all you could have is the ATR, and you could be like, okay, price is actually moving directional. Let me see which direction price is moving. Okay, maybe I should take a sell and just hold on to that for a while, right? Because it's gonna it kind of gives you like it gives you that confluence where you can see whether you want to catch the movement or not. So yeah, the ATR has been super useful to us. I'm glad we're finally using it. I've always used it. I just never really introduced it to you guys because I didn't think it was that relevant until now. Because now it helps a lot with identifying whether we should take a trade or not. Shannon's asking what VPS are you using? I don't use any VPS, Shannon, for mine. She's looking at shadow PC due to internet instability this week. Yeah, I don't use any VPS. I just use I use my actual computer. So yeah, there's no VPS on mine. If you're talking about the copier, I use Social Trader Tools. I mean, I guess that's considered a VPS, but I don't necessarily use a VPS for anything else. I do everything directly on my actual computer. Because a VPS is like a virtual server, right? So like a VPS is basically if you want to run a computer from a different location, which I'm assuming that's what you're trying to do, right? Because you said you have instability of internet connection. Yeah, so you basically want to control your home computer from wherever you're at. Yeah, so I don't really have a VPS that I personally use. I take my laptop with me pretty much everywhere, and wherever I stay, I usually try to have good internet connection. So, someone that might know is Maria, but I think Maria's taking a break for Christmas right now. I know she lives in an area that has like bad internet connection too, but I don't think she's around at the moment. But yeah, if anybody knows any good VPS services, chime in, help out Shannon. And she says Spectrum sucks this week. Yeah, I heard, well, I've been seeing a lot of things with Spectrum where they've had a lot of outages that, it's weird. Well, it's not really weird because I had the same situation with you. I think when I was at my last office, I had Spectrum and the internet would go out around the winter months for some reason. Like in the winter, the connection would be really bad. I'd get disconnected and stuff. I'm using Google Fiber now, so I have like super, super fast internet. Um, and it's super reliable. Yeah, no, it's funny. It's funny that you mentioned that now, Shannon, because I remember that. I hated Spectrum. Whenever I traded during the holidays, like Thanksgiving, Christmas, I would always get disconnected and then be disconnected for like a few minutes, which is super scary because if you're in a position and you're scalping, you got to get out of it. Yeah, Rashida said her Verizon's Wi-Fi has been acting crazy, but she just plugged in. Yeah, I think a lot of internet providers have issues during the winter. I think it's because of the weather. It's too cold and then probably messes with their wiring and stuff. Yeah, if you can get Google Fiber, Shannon, I think Google Fiber is probably the best internet you can get. It's like because but it's only available in certain places. It's still kind of new, and it's like decently priced too. It's like $70 a month, I think. Let's see. Maddie said the sentiment has gone up. So sentiment is now at 82%, guys. Yeah, this is the pullback that Rashida was looking for. It's coming down to the session just like we kind of anticipated. So there goes a pullback that we were looking for. So what I would look for here, guys, is look for the V1 pattern or a V1 variation, whatever you want to consider it. I wouldn't take it as a V1, but I would look at that pattern to see the floor get established. Once the floor gets established, look for the breakout V3 continuation to continue riding it up higher. So yeah, exactly. Maddie said V1 off sessions into a V3 would be ideal. Yeah, so there goes a V1 pattern right there, guys. Price might continue dropping, so there goes a double body rejection right there. Right. So the V1 variation looks like it already hit CP. I don't know if anybody was looking to take that. But the V1 variation right there went straight to TP. Got price now climbing up. Yeah, Rashida said that body was too weak for it. I agree, but I didn't even think that was going to close as a V1 variation. And then when I looked at it again, it closed with a green candle. So it's just a little too small. I wouldn't have taken it either myself. We got a pending buy signal here. This would be more ideal if it was a valid buy signal, but we'll see. We'll work with what we can get here. All right, we got some more team profits here. We got Shannon with a total profit of 248 for her first account, 232 on her second account on Apex. Nice work right there. Shannon, great work. We got Kenny here, total profit of 2,060 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Kenny. And that's about it for right now. All right, so there's no buy signal here yet. There goes a buy signal, come back up. Let's see if it actually closes. And these candles are like super small. They're not really moving too much. But we'll see if we get that buy signal, which it looks like we are. So right here, we might get that setup that we're looking for, guys. Looking for, sorry, guys, 1 second. Okay, lose my voice. All right, so we have the V1 pattern right here, a V1 variation already hit full TP. We have a buy signal here. And if we get a green candle here, this is going to set up for a breakout V3 continuation. But you can see these candles here are kind of weak. So you want to wait for the candle to actually close. You know, if you have to get into it late, get into it late. But you want to wait for the candle to actually close because the last thing you want to do is get into a position and then it closes opposite on you at the very last second. So we got about 20 seconds left on this candle right here. The candles are moving pretty slow. Yeah, we have to see where this ends up. Going over here. And this is also a high low momentum scalp as well, like Maddie just mentioned. So there's no breakout V3 right there. Unfortunately, no entry. Yeah, Rashida said no entry block. It would have been nice if it would have set up because this would have set up for a lot of entries. So this would have been a V1 variation. This would have been a high level momentum scalp. And then this here would have been a breakout V3 continuation. So that would have been like 3 entries in one. That'd basically be a triple confluence lining up here to push up to news price. But unfortunately, we didn't have the buy signal with the green candle there. So there's no entry there for the breakout V3 continuation. All right, guys, looks like we're going to be waiting for a bit. It's 7:20 right now. It's getting closer to 7:30. Looks like the slowdown started happening a little earlier. As I mentioned before, around 7:30 is around the time that I stop entering trades, around this time right here, because the market starts to slow down. As you can see, the slowdown has already started right here about 10 minutes earlier. And there's not really too much going on. You can see the ATR is coming back down at 15. It was at 16, 17. It's now at 15. Rashida said the 10-minute candle is huge. Would love for it to come back down further. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, this big one right here from market open, 6:30 is huge. So, yeah, it looks like, if it does come back lower, it can come back maybe down to the sessions at least. Because it's so far up. All right, back to the 1 minute. So guys, unfortunately, no entries here. You might get an opposite direction though. So we currently have another V1 pattern set up right here. You can get a sell signal and then price might come down to the sessions right here. I would just be really careful with some sells because the sentiment here is so high. It's currently at 81% short. So you typically don't want to be on the retail side, at least not for too long. If you're going to go in super quick, just get in and out for a quick 100 pips, that's fine. But you don't want to hold on to it for too long. Like I'm not going to hold on to a 300 pip move for a sell here because eventually it's going to come down and it's going to come back up. That's where I'm seeing it. So the high-low momentum scalp is still technically running right now, guys. So we had a lower low right here. This buy signal broke and closed past pivots 1 and 2. And you can see this high-low momentum scalp is still running. I wouldn't get into it because it looks too risky. I'd rather know right away if I win or lose rather than have to hold on to it for like a good 10, 20 minutes. And then the consolidation just kind of gets the best of me and I pull out early and then it ends up hitting TP. Yeah, Maddie said he was going to put a buy stop there. I would have done the same thing, but glad I didn't because price keeps going back and forth. So here goes the high-low momentum scalp as it pushes up further. Full TP right there. So if anybody caught that as a high-low momentum scalp, there's a lower low right here. This buy signal broke and closed past pivots 1 and 2. Price went sideways for a bit, but then eventually did push up. This here would have been an ideal entry for us if we had the green candle there because it would have lined up with the breakout V3. And I for sure would have taken that trade because it would have just lined up with everything that we were looking for. Unfortunately, we didn't get that there. So again, we're just waiting. But if there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. Typically, we try to avoid questions during these live sessions, but right now market's kind of dead, so I can answer whatever questions you guys have. Yeah, Kevin said he doesn't like taking those at resistance. Yeah, Kevin's right. It was actually right at resistance too, so that was another area where I probably wouldn't have wanted to trade because you can see a lot of fake outs happen around these areas too. So a nice call with that, Kevin. Yeah, and that's you thinking really smart, Kevin, because you're looking at different moving things here. So you're looking at support resistance. Like basically, I think if you guys can follow like as many red flags as possible, I think whenever you guys take a trade, look for a reason not to take the trade. Because if you look for a reason not to take the trade, that's one more trade that you could have avoided to lose, right? So I think that was smart that you looked at that there, Kevin, because I didn't even look at the clean chart and I didn't realize that there was a resistance right there. So you guys got to keep in mind, you just need 1 or 2 good trades a day and you'll be good. So if you can convince yourself like why a trade's bad and not to take it, that's better than getting into a trade, taking it and then losing and then thinking about it later and you're like, oh yeah, I should have avoided that, right? So yeah, good move on avoiding that there, Kevin, because I didn't even see that. But now that you mentioned it, yeah, I'm glad we didn't even get that breakout V3 here because it would have been right at the resistance where the fake out could happen. So yeah, I think, like I mentioned before, guys, like the biggest thing with trading is really understanding when not to trade. Because there's a lot of opportunities here. You guys can see we had some V1 variations, we had some high-low momentum scalps, we had some breakouts, etc. But it's really just being able to identify what's quality and what's not. Like this here wouldn't be a quality entry because it's right at the one minute resistance. And I'll put that up right here too. Because Because you're basically just going for the low-hanging fruit. That's the way I trade, right? I look for the low-hanging fruit. When I see a really good entry, I'll take it for a quick 100 pips and I'll be done. And I only look to take 1 or 2 trades a day. And if you guys can do that, that's exactly what Steven did. Steven did that today, took 1 trade and did pretty good. I'll put Steven's profits over here real quick as well. So yeah, this is what Steven does every day. He just tries to make $1,000 a day and he's done. Makes his profit goal and then he logs off and then goes to make his muscle milk, right, Maddie? I don't think anybody will ever get over that. How Steven thought that muscle milk was keeping him up at night. He couldn't wake up for the live sessions because he drank too much muscle milk the night before. I didn't post this profits from yesterday. Yeah, but all right. So if there's any more profits that you guys want to post up, feel free to send them in. I'll continue looking for entries here, but there's obviously nothing for us to take here at the moment. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take individual screenshots of my accounts before I forget. I typically forget to do that, so I'm just going to do it right now. All right. So here's my funded engineer. TMO. Second funded engineer. Personal account. And my TFF. All right, so it looks like price is starting to push up a little bit, which is good, but there's no opportunities for us right now to get into anything. All right, let me just post these up real quick. All right, so Rashida said momentum pullback scalp at 1026. So I don't know if I would take that one right there. Yeah, because it's a little too low, Rashida. There's still one that's coming up over here. So the buy signal is right here. It would have to be like at this above the momentum, which should be up here. Because sometimes you'll just have the momentum which is kind of lower. So I think this was just a little too low because the closest level would be this next one at 30. So there might be one setting up right here actually. Yeah, I know it's kind of hard to see because sometimes like for example, over here, the candles are too small, so you can't really see where it was. But yeah, this would be the actual inch right here. If anybody's looking to take that as a momentum pullback scalp, the ATR is too low, so I'm not going to take it. ATR has to be like clearly above 15. Right now, it's just a little too low. It's like on that, it's on the border right now. It's at 4.5, so it's getting close to it, but it's not exactly there. But yeah, if anybody's looking to take it, this is the setup right here. So the reason why we don't take it when the ATR is too low is because you get this, you just get a really slow sideways movement. And the way that the strategy is supposed to work is supposed to fill your order real quick and go straight to your TP. But the ATR is so low, you might get it back. Like instead of having this quick move like this, you might get a bunch of back and forth movement before it eventually hits. So it's back at 15 right now. I mean, if anybody wants to get in for like a discount or something, you can. Let me see if I can maybe get in right here, put my buy stop. It's kind of tricky. So I was going to put a buy stop there, but then it keeps bouncing right here. So let me see if my buy stop can get filled. All right, I'm following it right here. I'll have to manually pull out if it comes up and hits because of the, it's kind of a dummy entry because of the ATR. So I'm following it right now. It's pushing up. ATR is too low. I'm just gonna get out. All right, so I'm out of the trade, guys. I was hoping the ATR would pick up. Oh, it did pick up, but I pulled out of it. So I pulled out for 1,000 profit, 1,300. I was gonna hold on to it, but the ATR here kept going back down to 14, and I just didn't like it. And then full TP right there. Of course, it would push up, but I didn't want to get caught in it because I'm basically going against my rules. So our rules here are that it has to be above 15 and consistently above. Like it could be at like 15 to 16, but it can't be between 15 and 14. So when I got in, it was down here at like 15.5, and I was like, okay, I'll get in right here. And then it got up to this point and just kept going down to 14. So like that goes against my rules. And whenever it goes against my rules, I just got to pull out manually. So full TP on the trade here for whoever caught it. Looks like Kevin caught it. Maddie got it too. I don't know if you caught it, Rashida, but it basically was just a follow up to yours. You got it too? Okay, nice. Perfect, guys. Damn, so now I gotta take another screenshot of all my accounts. It's all good. So yeah, there goes the momentum pullback scalp. If you guys are not familiar with the strategy, this is basically our main strategy. Everything else has been like additional to it, but this here is our main strategy that we apply on these live sessions. The volatility has been kind of low, so it's been a little bit harder, but I'll just go over again what the strategy it consists of. So let me go over here and just do a small refresher for you guys who don't know it so well. Okay, so first you want to identify the direction of momentum. We have a buy signal right here. Second, you want to confirm the trend is matching. Trend here is bullish. You can see the trend meter is green. You want to make sure the trend is matching with the pivots as well. You can see here that the red pivot is below all the other pivots. So this is bullish and price is above it as well. Step 4, you want to confirm a directional push in that direction. Here goes a directional push. Step 5, confirm a pullback. This red candle right here was a pullback. After that, you enter at the nearest whole number. That's where the levels indicator comes up. The closest level would be right here at the 50 mark. And then that's where you enter. So that's why we took the trade there. The only thing here that was kind of tricky was that ATR must be 15 or above, right? And this is what kind of was tricky for us because what happened was I didn't enter it right away. But then when the ATR picked back up to 15, I was like, okay, you guys can either enter for a discount or set a buy stop there. What I did was I set a buy stop. And then when price pushed up, it pretty much flattened out. And that's why I pulled out because it went against my rules of 15 ATR. So if you guys took the trade there, nice work. If you guys didn't, it's completely fine. You know, that entry there was a tricky entry because the ATR wasn't very solid and it wasn't very stable. So put this right here for the momentum pullback scalp for a gain of 100 pips. So now I got to take another screenshot of all my accounts again because of the other trade I took there. So my accounts are looking pretty nice. Not too bad for the week. I mean, we didn't really take a lot of trades this week. Yeah, we didn't take a crazy amount of trades, but we did pretty decent overall. All right, 7:35. So as you can see, the volatility is starting to die down a bit. We'll see if we get some more entries here, but as you guys know, once it gets to 7:30, I typically flatten out. So here are my profits from that trade. So here's my flooded engineer locked in 574 total. My FTMO locked in 3,820. My second FTMO locked at 3,420. My second funded engineer locked at 314. My personal account, I locked in 1,170. My TFF locked in 1,225, and my second TFF, same thing, 1,225. So those are all my profits for the day so far. 736, guys. Volatility is dying down. You can see the ATR is getting even lower. It was at 15 earlier, it's now at 13. So it's not, market's not looking great. We might just get a sideways move from here. Looking at our team profits, we have Albert here, total profit of 443. Nice work, Albert, on that right there. And then we have Lila over here with a total profit of 1,652. Nice work, Lila. Yeah, Lila said time to finish Christmas shopping. Merry Christmas, fam, especially you, bro, Sean, for unselfishly allowing us to learn from you. Yeah, definitely, Lila. So Merry Christmas to you, and good luck with the Christmas shopping. I gotta go Christmas shopping today too. It's gonna suck. It's all good. Yeah, Kenneth says small loss, no trades other than that. Yeah, so Kenneth over here has a small loss for 318. It's not a big deal. So Kenneth took a small loss there, and he's gonna bounce back from that on the next trade anyways. So it's all good, Kenneth. Rather have that than a full loss, of course. Kenny said, that's what I learned to do. I see so many trades play out through the sesh, but only take one or two that I feel good about. Yeah, and I agree with you, Ken. That's exactly what I do too. So I took the breakout earlier this morning for a partial. I didn't feel super great about it, but I felt okay about it. And that's why I took it for a partial. And then again, right here, I took this because I felt good about it when the volatility picked up and we would have gotten in for a little discount. But unfortunately, it slowed down a little bit. And that's why I pulled out early. Yeah, Kenny said a majority of his trades are from momentum pullback scalp, and it usually hits TP if the ATR is 11 or above. Yeah, usually if it's 11 or above, it'll eventually hit. It'll just take longer. That's why I like 15, because when you have 15, it usually just spikes down, fills it, and goes straight to TP. So that's what I like the most about the momentum pullback scalp. But yeah, anything above, I think anything above 10, it'll probably hit, but it's just going to take a while for it to hit. So nice. Kenneth took that trade with us too and wrap that up for a full TP. Daniel said he's done for the day. All right, Daniel, we'll see you back here on Tuesday. Merry Christmas. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to take the individual screenshots of my profits again. And I just literally took them, and now I got to take them again. But it's okay. We have another profit there. So yeah, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. It's currently 7:38 right now. So we got about 20 minutes until 8 o'clock. You guys can see the ATR is kind of going back and forth, but it's not very consistent. So there's not really too much here to look at. So if there's anything that you guys want me to cover, anything for me to review, just pop into the chat. Otherwise, if we don't see much movement from now until like say 7:45, we'll just wrap it up. There's no reason for us to hang around and force any trades the day before we go on this long holiday. So, and just keep that in mind, guys. Like I always try to remind you guys that there's no need to force any trades. The trade will come to you, right? It's always going to come back to you. So if you don't have anything today, it's fine. Come back on Tuesday when the market picks back up, and I'm sure you'll find at least one entry. Like every day, there's at least one entry that comes up. Like if you're like just sitting there and waiting and not even taking anything, and you just wait for the proper opportunity, it'll come up, and usually it'll probably hit. So yeah, no need to force anything, guys. Your main goal here is to be profitable every single day. And if that means taking one or two trades a day, while like 10 trades come up, that's completely fine. All right, so we have a V1 pattern over here setting up, or a V1 variation that's actually already running. V1 variation, and then if you get a buy signal followed by a green candle, that's going to be opportunity for a possible buy. Yeah, D said you're not alone. Most people I talk to are shopping today too. I'm done. I'm going to be that guy sitting drinking coffee, people watching. That sounds way better, D. I'm not really shopping for anything crazy. I already got all the big presents, so I'm just gonna go and buy some gift cards. Bunch of gift cards. I'm just gonna give them out to uh I usually buy like a bunch of gift cards and I just give them out to people like say like the janitor at my gym. Like I see him every day and that dude says hi to me and good morning to me every day. So I usually go and give him something nice. And then just some gift cards for like family members that I don't know what to get. But all the big presents are gone. I mean they're done with, so that's uh that's a good thing. I can't imagine going to the mall right now and buying stuff. It's crazy. I'm just gonna go to Target, buy a bunch of gift cards. Let's see if there's anything else here. But yeah, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to let me know. Yeah, Kenneth said even if it hits TP, you forced it, and it's still a forced trade, not a good habit. Yeah, and I agree with you too, Kenny, 100%. Like if you guys ever force a trade, even if you win the trade, it's you're still forcing the trade, so it's not any better than taking a random trade, right? All right, let me just copy all my profits over, show you guys my individual accounts, and it looks like we'll be wrapping this up pretty soon. It's not really too much going on here. I mean, if you want to look for it, look for the buy signal. And then after that buy signal, look for the following green candle. That'll be a V1 into a V3 breakout continuation. All right, Kenneth. Kenneth's done for the day too. So I'll see you back here on Tuesday, Kenny. Kenneth. Merry Christmas to you too. All right, so let's see. Here are my individual profits for the day. So here's my funded engineer. You guys can see all wins for the day, total profit of 574. That's my first account. Here's my FTMO, locked in 3,820 for the day. All wins here as well. This is the account with a green strip. This is my main account that I execute all of my trades on. Here is my second FTMO, locked in 3,420. All wins here as well. So as you guys can see, I just took 2 trades today. You take 2 good trades and it adds up, especially when you have multiple accounts. This is my second funded engineer, total profit of 314. Here is my personal account, total profit of 1,170, all wins here. Here's my TFF, locked in 1,225, all wins as well. And my second TFF, same thing, 1,225. So just adding up my profits for the day so far, let's see. So I'm up 574 plus 3,820 plus 3,420 plus 314 plus 1,170 plus 1,225 plus 1,225. So I'm in profit 11,748 for the day. Not bad for just 2 trades. So, I mean, even if you just had one of these accounts, like one FTMO, you'd still make about like 3,000, which is fair enough, right? You're making pretty much someone's weekly salary in, an hour trading with me here. So just keep that in mind, guys. Look at things from the bigger picture. I know some of you guys want to be like a millionaire by tomorrow, but it's not realistic, right? Like you could probably be a millionaire by the end of year 1 or year 2, but you're not going to get there by tomorrow. Like I hate when people try to when people on YouTube or Instagram tell people that they can be a millionaire within a couple months. It's not really realistic. You have to like literally have like crazy days every single day to do that. For us here, we have something that's consistent. We do this every single day, and we just lock in a consistent profit. Like for today, I locked in 3,000 on my FTMO. Yesterday on my FTMO, I locked in 3,000 as well. The day before that, I locked in 1,000, 2,000. So every day I'm locking in like a couple $1,000, right? I'm pretty sure like everybody would be happy to lock in, even $1,000 a day, like what Steven's doing. Steven's doing 1,000 a day, and you guys just have to do the math. Like, for example, if you're doing 1,000 a day, you're trading with just 1 trade a day, and you're winning just 1 trade a day. You do that 5 days a week. That's 5,000 a week. There's 4 weeks in a month. You lock in 20,000 a month. You lock in 12 months a year trading with me here. That's 240,000. So you'll make it to the six-figure club basically by the end of the year if you just focus on one solid trade a day. And it's very possible. It's not impossible. It's super possible. And I mean, yeah, that's really the case, guys. It's really just understanding where your weaknesses are. So like whenever people try to criticize the way we trade here, I don't really care. They could keep talking because you know the proof is here. We do this every single day. It's recorded. So a lot of people don't like scalpers because they don't know how to scalp, right? If you know how to scalp, you'd be a scalper. And we know how to scalp, so that's why we scalp. Because I always see a lot of people hating on it, but the thing is, scalping is so easy if you know what you're doing, and it's really just fishing for those prime entries. So yeah, let's see. Kenny said, "I learned a lot of valuable knowledge that I can take with me for the rest of my life." Yeah, exactly, Kenny. Merry Christmas to you too. He's out until after New Year's. Good luck with trading. Yeah, definitely, Kenny. And Kenny has a 100% win rate this month, so he's doing, and it's his first month ever doing that. So that's pretty solid, Kenny. I know like a lot of people didn't like my negative risk to reward, but you guys can see, if you have a 100% win rate like Kenny over here, a negative risk to reward makes sense. It makes sense. Like a lot of people are okay with losing. Like they're okay with losing like 70% of the time and then doing like a positive risk to reward to like break even at the end of the month. I don't like doing that. I'd rather have a bunch of wins and no losses. And then eventually at the end of the month, I just stack up the profits, and it's not going to be a huge profit, but it's going to be a pretty big lump sum. So, all right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Here's Steven's profits for the day. Nice. So here's Steven's account. So Steven's is doing a 100K count. He had two back-to-back winning days. He's up 2,496. So he needs about 8 or 7 more decent trades, and then he's going to pass his challenge. I swear, keep it up, and you'll be funded next month. Yeah, definitely, Steven. Let's see if there's any more profits here from the group. We got some more team profits here. Vince with a total profit of 105 for the day. Nice work, Vince. And we got Nathan over here with a total profit of 2,430 for the day. All wins as well. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. I'm not really seeing too much here happening. The ATR is very low at 13. We're getting pretty much a sideways movement here. We never got that buy signal with the following green candle. So I'm not really expecting anything else to happen here. I'm expecting price maybe go sideways for a bit. And then probably by the end of the session, you're going to see a big rally or you're going to see a big drop. People are either going to sell off for Christmas or they're going to buy and hold on to it until the new year. So I think that's about it. Definitely. Thanks, Camo. Merry Christmas to you too. And no problem. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, we're going to wrap this up for the day. Merry Christmas to everybody here. Just enjoy your time off. Chill out for like the next couple days. Come back on Tuesday fresh. And then we'll come back and wrap this year up strong. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here on Tuesday for market open. Merry Christmas.